Hey YouTube, welcome back to my channel. So as you already know, Meghan and Harry have received a lot of negative backlash following their latest US election stunt. And to say the least, the video was awkward and it just screamed out desperation for attention, desperation to be relevant, desperation to be spoken about. Now we know 110% that Prince Harry knew that he was definitely breaking with royal protocol by weighing in on American political affairs and voicing his thoughts and opinions regarding the upcoming US election. Now, what people are saying at this point is that Harry needs to stand up for himself, and a lady called Mrs. Neeson framed him as the definition of a typical hen-pecked husband, which he is. We now know that Harry is going along with Meghan Markle's master plan to take the US by storm and eventually become the first female president. Let's face it, that's what she's going for. I don't think it's much of a secret. One of her friends also recently spoke to the media, sharing that Meghan would be thrilled to have the opportunity to run for presidency. And you do need a lot of money to run for presidency, don't you? So I think that she has it all planned out strategically, that she's going to go on this cash grab with Harry for the next 4 years and then run for presidency against someone like Kamala Harris. And I do predict personally, and this is just my personal thoughts and feelings, that we will at some point in history, I think it will be either the next election or the election after that, an all-female led US presidential campaign. I think there will at some point be at least 3 or 4 women. We have Kamala Harris, who has been pitched to be someone who could possibly be a future contender. There is currently Ivanka Trump, who is very, very gorgeous, and Trump's understudy, his daughter. Obviously, Trump is not liked by everyone, but she hasn't put a foot wrong yet. So Ivanka Trump, I hope I'm saying her name correctly. And then we have Meghan Markle, who we know is craving and desperate and thirsty for power. That is definitely going to be something that is on the table that I hope I get to see in my lifetime. I don't know who I would vote for if I was a US citizen. Obviously, I'm not, so I have no dog in this race. Outside of that, anyway, I'm going to get into this article, and it is a UK publication again, and it is titled Prince Harry ordered to stand up to Meghan Markle over latest royal family controversy. Prince Harry has been ordered to put his foot down and stand up to wife Meghan Markle following the backlash and row over whether they are becoming too political. And I don't think that Harry will ever really stand up to Meghan. I think that maybe Harry is beginning to realise, because as Danger Zone mentioned in her video, their body language was completely off, and she personally feels as though they wasn't even on that bench. They were CGI'd there. That could be a possibility. They didn't make any physical connection with each other. There was no chemistry between the two figures. It didn't really look as though they was there, but then they was. But it was just an awkward setup. The bench was way too small. The clothes were really drab. Harry looked cold, and it had this kind of like dingy, foggy, overcast look. I don't know, but there was something that was definitely off. The clothes were off. Their clothes just didn't look good. They didn't look smart either. I know they was trying to come across as genuine, sincere, relatable, amenable, normal, human, but it looked contrived, too contrived if you ask me. We know that they've signed this multi-million-pound Netflix deal, so they have got money. I don't even know why they were sitting in the garden. They should have been somewhere in that elaborately large mansion somewhere, at least one of the rooms. So I'm going to get into the article a bit. Prince Harry has been ordered to put his foot down and stand up to wife Meghan Markle following the backlash and row over whether they're becoming too political. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle have faced a backlash following a video they made reminding Americans of the importance of voting. The Duke and Duchess have been criticised by many for appearing to become overly political, and some have interpreted their words as an endorsement for presidential candidate Joe Biden. Royal commentators Dan Wooten and Dawn Neeson reflected on this and argued Harry should insist that the pair remain politically neutral. And he would have known that, of all things that he can do in America, he definitely should not touch on political affairs or political issues. And he knows that. I mean, he himself even voiced that he's never been able to vote in the UK. He's never been able to vote. Obviously, he can't vote in the USA because he is a member of the state. He is a figurehead. And Harry's vote is unimportant when you actually think about it. I mean, he directly has taken money and was raised by the taxpayers' funds and has taken money from the taxpayer all of his life in large, substantial amounts, along with the rest of the members of the royal family. And he was meant to be a public servant, which he is no longer. I think he done this to really attack his family and to reaffirm his disrespect and degradation of the royal firm. So I'm going to carry on here. Mr. Wooten said he is chipping in on Meghan Markle's pet projects with perfectly scripted wokeism, British princely charm. But what happens when Prince Harry actually stands up to Meghan for the first time? What happens when Harry says to Meghan, no, I'm actually going to put the sanctity of the institution that I was brought up in first? I actually shudder to think what would happen, because I can't imagine Meghan would take it very well. Miss Neeson admitted that she thought it was unlikely Harry would stand up to Meghan on the issue of becoming too political. She added, "Do you think it is going to happen, Dan? He is never going to stand up to her. He is the very definition of a hen-pecked husband. I never wanted to say this, and I wanted to think it was 6 of one and a half dozen of the other." Mr. Wooten closed by insisting that he believes that both Harry and Meghan are as bad as each other. In the speech, both Harry and Meghan reiterated the importance of voting in the upcoming November presidential election. Meghan said, "Every 4 years we are told the same thing, that this is the most important election of our lifetime, but this one is." And what I personally think is that Meghan Markle is trying to garner favour with the extreme feminists and the Me Too movement by attacking and shredding at the likes of Donald Trump. And I think that that is going to be her strategy. She's going to stand on the shoulders of the Black Lives Matter movement, and she's going to stand on the shoulders of the Me Too movement and extreme feminism in order to garner favour and likability, so that when she does decide to run for the presidential job, she has all of those different sectors really rooting for her, having a strong opinion about her, and wanting to push her all the way into the presidential seat. I just find it so contrived, because this is a woman who has spent a large part of her life relying on men to boost her and bolster her. We know that when she was married to her previous husband, he was a director in Hollywood, and she badgered him, her, close sources have said, for roles, for jobs, and as soon as she got her Suits role, she ditched him. So it seems as though he served his purpose. Now she has walked down the aisle with Prince Harry, and she has absolutely everything to say about political affairs in the USA. Now, I know she was on record calling Trump a misogynist in 2017, but she has everything to say, and she's really clutching here to destroy Trump in order to get likability and favour with certain sectors of certain communities. Harry, I wish him all the best. As Trump said, he's going to need it. He's going to need all the luck that he can possibly get his hands on, because we now know that he's firmly closed the door on the royal fam, and I do think that the titles will be going any day now. It may take a month, it may take 6, I don't know, but I think it's over. Pretty much to say Harry's real life has come to a grinding halt and it is finished. Anyway guys, that's the end of the video and I'll be back for another one. Bye guys.